Hey y'all, and welcome back to another new video. I'm continuing on with my series all about the Order of the Phoenix today, and today we are talking about all the members that we know were in the Order of the Phoenix and the role that they played. And so if you haven't seen the previous 3 episodes in this series, definitely go back and watch those. We talk about the role they played in the first Wizarding War, the role they played in the second Wizarding War, and the role they played in the Calamity. And before we jump in, make sure you are subscribed to my channel. If you enjoyed this video, don't forget to give it a thumbs up, hit the bell notification button so you can be notified when I post. And definitely make sure you're following me on all my other social medias. I'll have them all linked down below. Check out my Etsy shop, all of that stuff. And without further ado, we can jump right into the video. So first we have Albus Dumbledore. He was a member of the First and Second Order. So First Order means First Wizarding War, Second Order means Second Wizarding War. So he was a member of the First and Second. He's also the founder and was the leader from the time it started until the time that he died. He fought in all of the battles of the First Wizarding War. He fought in the Battle of the Department of Mysteries. And so basically I'm going to be saying like First Wizarding War because we don't really have names for those battles. And then since we do have names for some of the battles that happened in the Second Wizarding War, I'll be more specific about those. So yeah, he fought in the First Wizarding War at the Battle of the Department of Mysteries. He taught Harry about Horcruxes, and he destroyed one Horcrux himself. And he arranged his own death with Severus Snape in 1997. Then we have Alistair Moody. He was in both the First and Second Orders. He fought in the First Wizarding War as well as the Battle of the Department of Mysteries and was murdered in the Battle of the Seven Potters in 1997. Next is Kingsley Shakabolt. He was a member of the Second Order of the Phoenix. He fought in the Battle of the Department of Mysteries and the Battle of the Seven Potters, and he led the Order during the Battle of Hogwarts. Next, we have Aberforth Dumbledore. He was in the First and Second Order. He assisted Dumbledore's army in the 1997-1998 school year by passing food and supplies to them into the Room of Requirement. And he also assisted the trio by hiding them in the Hogshead when Death Eaters were in Godric's Hollow. And he also assisted them by sending Dobby to rescue them at Malfoy Manor. Aberforth also fought in the Battle of Hogwarts and did survive. Next, we have Arabella Fig. She was a member of the First and Second Order despite being a squib. And she was tasked with watching over Harry during his childhood, during his time with the Dursleys. If you remember, she was one of their neighbors. And she also acted as a witness in Harry's criminal hearing in 1995. Next, we have Alice and Frank Longbottom. They both fought in the First Wizarding War, were members of the First Order. They were tortured using the Cruciatus Curse by Barty Crouch Jr., Rodolphus Lestrange, Sebastian Lestrange, and Bellatrix Lestrange. They were tortured to insanity and had to spend the rest of their life in the hospital. We have Benji Fenwick. He was a member of the First Order and was murdered during the First Wizarding War. We have Caradoc Dearborn. He was also a member of the First Order and it disappeared during the First War, and even though his body was never found, he is presumed to be dead. We have Daedalus Diggle, a member of the First and Second Order, who was also tasked with watching over Harry during his childhood, and he served as a member of the Advanced Guard in 1995 and helped evacuate the Dursleys from their home in 1997. Next is Dorcas Mayodaz. They were in the First Wizarding War, the First Order, and were murdered by Voldemort in the First Wizarding War. We have Edgar Bones and his entire family, which personally I don't like how when a whole family dies, including like a wife who's just as much as a person, like on the Wizarding World website it's listed as like Edgar Bones and his family rather than like the name of his wife separately, which just kind of like annoys me. It just feels sexist to me, but whatever. So their family was a member of the First Order and they were part of the and they were all murdered except for Susan and one of her aunts. And Hagrid considers their family to be among the best magical people of the age. We have Alpheus Dodge. They were in the First and Second Order, and they were part of the Advanced Guard in 1995, and they appear to have shadowed Harry during his youth. We have Emmeline Vance, a member of the First and Second Order, and a member of the Advanced Guard, who was murdered by Death Eaters in 1996. Now we have Fabian and Gideon Pruitt. These are Molly Weasley's brothers. They were murdered during the First Wizarding War by 5 Death Eaters, including Anthony Dolohov. Then we have James and Lily Potter. They were obviously members of the First Wizarding War and the First Order. They fought in the First Wizarding War and were murdered by Voldemort in their own home in Godric's Hollow in 1981. Then we have Marlene Mckinnon. She was a member of the First Order, and her entire family were murdered by Death Eaters, including Travers, during the First Wizarding War. Next we have Minerva Mcgonagall. She was only a member during the Second Order. She didn't join the Order in the First Wizarding War, instead worked as a spy for the Ministry, but decided to join in the Second War because she believed that the Ministry was corrupt, which obviously she was correct. She fought in the Battle of the Astronomy Tower and the Battle of Hogwarts and was the leader of the defense of Hogwarts during the Battle of Hogwarts. Then we have Mandan Fletcher. He was a member of the First and Second Order and assisted to watch over Harry in 1995. But in the Battle of the Seven Potters, he did flee as soon as Voldemort arrived, and this is basically why Mad-Eye Moody ended up dying, because because Fletcher was his, partner, and he left him. And so then, he kind of helped the trio locate the locket, but I don't really think that redeems him because he kind of only did it after they, threatened him. And then we have Peter Pettigrew, who was a member of the First Order until he defected and joined the Death Eaters, and he betrayed the Potters. And he was killed by his own silver hand after hesitating to kill Harry, which a lot of people forget about because it wasn't included in the movies. And then we have Arimas Lupin, a member of the First and Second Order. He fought in the First Wizarding War, the Battle of the Department of Mysteries, the Battle of the Astronomy Tower, the Battle of the Seven Potters, and was murdered by Antonin Dolohov in the Battle of Hogwarts. We have Rubeus Hagrid, a member of the First and Second Order. He was at the Battle of the Astronomy Tower, the Battle of the Seven Potters, and the Battle of Hogwarts. And he also tried to get the Giants to join the Order side, unsuccessfully. We have Severus Snape, a member of the First and Second Order. He became a member of the First Order after he defected from the Death Eaters. He fought in, both wars, and he was a spy during the Second War and was murdered by Voldemort during the Battle of Hogwarts. Then we have Sirius Black, a member of the First and Second Order, who fought in both wars as well, and he let the Order use his family home as headquarters, but was murdered by his own cousin Bellatrix during the Battle of the Department of Mysteries. And he was in Azkaban for 12 years for his supposed murder of Peter Pettigrew, but did break out in 1993. And then we have Sturgis Podmore, who was a member of the First and Second Order and a member of the Advanced Guard, and was put under the Imperious Curse and did try to break into the Department of Mysteries in that battle. And then we have Arthur Weasley, who was a member of the Second Order and fought in the Battle of the Seven Potters and the Battle of Hogwarts. Charlie Weasley was assigned to recruit foreign wizards, and he did lead reinforcements to the Battle of Hogwarts, and was just a member of the Second Order. Same with Bill Weasley, just a member of the Second Order, fought at the Battle of the Astronomy Tower, the Battle of the Seven Potters, and the Battle of Hogwarts. We have Hestia Jones. She was a member of the Second Order, and she was a part of the Advanced Guard and was the other person that helped to evacuate the Dursleys. We have Molly Weasley, a member of the Second Order, and in the Battle of Hogwarts, she killed Bellatrix Lestrange, partially out of sort of revenge for personal loss that Bellatrix caused in her life. Nymphadora Tonks was a member of the Second Order. She fought in many of the battles, the Battle of the Department of Mysteries, the Battle of the Astronomy Tower, the Battle of the Seven Potters, and the Battle of Hogwarts, where she was killed by Bellatrix Lestrange. And so the rest of the people are people that we can just kind of assume were members of the Order. They were definitely involved, and they were of age, but were never called specifically members. And I know some people are going to be they definitely were. Some people might think they weren't, but just whatever. These are kind of vague, but most likely were members. So the first is Fleur Delacour. She was, if she was one, supposedly the second. They're all also part of the Second Order. So she fought in the Battle of the Seven Potters and in the Battle of Hogwarts, along with Fred and George Weasley. Fred Weasley fought in the Battle of the Seven Potters and was killed at the Battle of Hogwarts by an explosion caused by Augustus Rookwood. And then George Weasley fought in the Battle of the Seven Potters, where he lost his ear, and also fought in the Battle of Hogwarts and did survive. And then we have Harry. He fought in the Battle of the Department of Mysteries, the Battle at the Astronomy Tower of the Seven Potters, and the Battle of Hogwarts, where he destroyed Voldemort once and for all. He also found many Horcruxes and destroyed Tom Riddle's diary. We have Hermione Granger. She fought in the Battle of the Department of Ministries, the Battle of the Astronomy Tower, the Battle of the Seven Potters, and the Battle at Hogwarts. She also hunted Horcruxes and destroyed Hufflepuff's cup. And then finally we have Ron Weasley. He was at the Battle of the Department of Ministries, the Battle of the Astronomy Tower, Seven Potters, and Battle of Hogwarts, also involved in hunting Horcruxes, and he destroyed Slytherin's locket. So that is all I have of the confirmed or most likely members of the Order of the Phoenix. And next week, for the final part of my series on the Order, I am going to be talking about allies to the Order. Actually, it might be my second to last part of that series. I'm not sure yet. But I'm going to be talking about allies of the Order. So people that were not official members but did a lot to help them. And I think it's interesting. And so if you enjoyed this video, don't forget to like and subscribe. And until next time, bye y'all.